Hello guys and welcome to our channel. This is Paper Roll. So in the first part we talked about how to be aggressive as a droid, how to attack in a one-shot manner, to one-shot with condition, to maximize the amount of damage and CC you can apply to be as efficient as possible. In this part we're going to talk about the defensive side, how to survive especially in outnumber, how to maximize your ability to be an immortal droid. So for droids there is many layers and we will be talking about all of them, starting with distance management, position control, all the tools at your disposal to reduce damage, heal through it, cleanse through it, and some tricks in how to actually survive even the most difficult of situation, or how to be really pro in droid. And after that we'll have some commentary to give examples even on failure to see the limitation and the weight of the mistakes you can make. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So droid survivability have multiple layers. First, distance management and position control, which is basically two sides to the single coin. The idea is you get to always kite. That's why we run a speed relic, for example, because we want to be able to move faster than our enemy. So even if the enemy is right behind you, cleaving you with melee attacks, your simple movement will get you farther than the distance he need to cleave, so you'd have to waste more cooldown. If he has speed relic, he nullifies this effect, but if he had speed relic and you didn't, then you would have to waste so many cooldown to try to break the distance while he doesn't even need to do that. So that's the start. Other method for it is also you can immobilize the enemy or control their own position, like by moving like that and simply casting Lunar Impact on the enemy behind you. He's immobilized and you're kiting away, you're even stealthed, you can stand whenever you want, you can line of sight. You can do this with many ways, like Lunar Impact, as we said, like Staff 4 behind you, like casting this skill behind you so people will step in it and get immobilized, like entangling people while you're kiting, even healing to immobilize, cripple, and slow behind you. And you can even cast the field and start kiting, even the projectile now won't land. And that gets us to the idea of being aggressive in order to defend yourself. A CC'd enemy or an enemy under control can't hurt you. If an enemy have a daze, it can't cast a skill, it can't do its damage. And that is one of the greatest methods to protect yourself, because you don't have an active damage mitigation. What do I mean by this? A block like Greatsword 4, for example, you will block the attacks without interacting with the enemy. So the enemy would be hitting you and he keep hitting you, he doing whatever you want and you blocking it. Second of Stone, even barrier to absorb the damage, something like that. We don't have that. We only have projectile defenses. That's the only method we can use. So the idea to stop the damage again is to simply stop the enemy from using the skill to begin with, which is or can be sometimes even more strong of style. Unless you're surrounded by many enemies, they have stability, so obviously you would love to have a block or invulnerability, for example. So a simple glyph of equality next to you, even entering Celestia Avatar and melee, that means the enemy being CC'd so they can cast their skill. Even if it's range, you can simply cast Lunar Impact while running away so they are now dazed. Which get me to Celestial Avatar methods of survivability. So Celestial Avatar give us Celestial Shadows for stealth obviously once we leave, give us the daze as we explained, and give us a lot of healing and control. However, there is a very interesting trick that I love to use with it a lot, which is Seed of Life, because it is instant cast. It's a light field, a condition cleanse, and it gives a little bit of healing, blind, and poison to the enemy. So, Celestial Avatar, you can enter it, cast Seed of Life, and leave it all while under control. So let's say you don't have a stun break. You can simply enter Celestial Avatar, cast Seed of Life, if like a warrior trying to CC or something, and leave immediately. So they're blinded, they missed their hit, they missed their chain of CC. So if someone playing a build when he can completely stun lock you with no end, this method will stop the next incoming CC, which means when you leave that Celestial Avatar, you become stealthed, and there is a big possibility they either don't know your location, because you could have even a stun break while using this method, or your stun break come off cooldown so you can immediately leave, or they can't cast or target you immediately if they use the weapons that have to, like a projectile weapon or whatever, and they missed a single skill because of the blind, and they now don't even know your location, and you can simply start moving and reposition yourself. And this is a very efficient trick to bowl if you didn't have a stun break, and sometimes even if you did. And you can use it even from range. So let's say someone using like a rifle, longbow or whatever. So you don't have stun break and now you're knocked down or knocked back. You can enter, cast Celestia, cast Seed of Life on them and leave immediately. The blind will prevent the next hit and that's it. You can start disengaging. That gets me to another trick I love to use with Celestia Avatar. I have even made a video dedicated for it called "This Trick Will Save Your Life", which using a dodge possible, but mostly lightning reflexes with leaving Celestia Avatar if needed. This is a huge method of disengaging and surviving a situation that's almost impossible to survive. So lightning reflex is a dodge and a stun break, so even if you're stunned you can use it and it will dodge. It will remove the immobilize first, so it will always free you from being caught, and then will cleanse 2 conditions because of the trait Wilderness Knowledge, giving you vigor and already dodge, giving you distance because it removed you from your exact location. And if you use it while leaving Celestia Avatar, remember like we said, you can cast while entering or leaving, just like the offensive part or the attack explained video. You will even be stealthed with super speed. So let's say you're CC'd and you're immobilized and a lot of condition user trying to a lot of people trying to ramp you, you can simply cast it while leaving Celestia Avatar. Let's put the worst scenario possible. You have a fear ring around you or a Dragon Hunter trap, like the Elite trap or something you can't even leave. And you're immobilized also, and having conditions and a lot of people engaging you, and you're already even CC'd. So inside Celestia Avatar you have access to 2 very important condition cleanses, which is you can cast Glyph of Quality to stun break you and cleanse 2 conditions, and you can cast Seed of Life under you to blind them, anyone in melee, cleanse yourself also from condition. So depending on what you need, of course never waste 2 stun breaks unless you really have to, but like I said, it's a worst case scenario. So simply enter Celestia Avatar, cast your stun break while casting this, so now you're already not CC'd, you cleansed a lot of condition. Start casting this skill to get the initial 2 stacks of stability, and then immediately use Lightning Reflex while leaving. So now the next attack cannot track you. Whatever CC would come next if you do this rotation very fast will not land, it will go through the stability, and they now don't even know your location. You dodge it this way, you can start moving this way. You can use the same method lightly even with dodges. A simple dodge while leaving Celestia Avatar is something that I love to do, so people can't try to lock me or hold me down with immobilize or something like that. So let's just say I'm inside Celestia Avatar and I'm trying to leave now. I would dodge like that while leaving. It's as simple as it, and controlling my own position later. But pay attention that if you jump dodge, you can't enter or leave Celestia Avatar. It will happen after the dodge land, or sometimes it wouldn't happen at all if you were stuck in the air or going from an area that's high to an area that's low. That's something I really hated about Celestia Avatar to this day since I made Droid, since the release of Heart of Sauron, that you can't enter or leave Celestia Avatar mid-air, which I don't know why Aranid did it this way. So as you can see, I can't unless I touch the ground, it simply works. So that gets me to another point, dodges. So the quality of playing Ranger, especially Condition Ranger, is we get access to this Rugged Growth. Combine it with the trait Companion's Defense, you get protection on dodges, and dodges heal both of you and your bit on an interval of 1 second. So as long as you have protection, it works like a regeneration. Whether it comes from this source, whether it's from allies, whether it's from yourself, it doesn't matter. Which means you can utilize your dodges as currency. If you spend enough time in a fight, while just like that, you can simply dodge, gain the protection, and it will start heal you. It will reduce the incoming damage after that, and it will help fill Celestia Avatar even faster, instead of wasting a lot of time while having a resource that doesn't give any value, but always save the other dodge to actually when you need it. And technically you always will have 2 dodges because we run cleansing and energy on staff, so the moment you try to kite, you move to staff, it will cleanse 3 conditions, hopefully immobilize would be one of them. If you are immobilized, you can dodge immediately, you will always have a dodge because of the sigil once you move to staff, and you could start kiting like that. So I like I said, to use my dodge as a currency. Besides, because of my ping, I can't simply save my dodges to dodge exactly when I need it or specific skill. I play on a high ping, on a laptop with a small screen, and I use low settings and with 30 FPS, so I can't be this accurate all the time. So I try to play with a tempo more than accuracy. and that is a quality of life ranger offer, since it gives you this trait to reduce the damage. I don't need to avoid specific hit if every hit, or at least I gain to myself sometimes when the hit coming that will hit me for less damage, and then I utilize the fact that I have a lot of healing, staff, trap, celestial avatar, to just heal further and get back up with my health. And that get us to talking about the staff. So like I said, we run cleansing sigil and energy, which mean we are immobilized, we have condition right now. Whether we need to stun break, we could, but if we don't, a simple move to staff will cleanse 3 condition, hopefully immobilize one of them, and we can use light reflex or whatever to cleanse, immobilize, or even more if we couldn't. And you will always have a dodge because energy now kicked in and you have a dodge, so you immediately dodge so the enemy can't land another CC immediately on you. You need to go to skill 3 as fast as possible, so you dodge. And if you're in Iboga or in Turtle, you can switch the bit when I tell you. I will tell you right now, but you would use this skill. You can switch the bit at last, so now you save 5 seconds. If it's Turtle you switch it to, you can cast this skill and now all projectile will hit here. You get 1 stack of protection at least the moment it was next to you, and now they can't land their hit. If it is Iboga, you can actually cast this skill, so now the projectile will go here. Always make sure to cast it in front of you if possible, so you get the regeneration. And even if you use Turtle, you can switch between both of them if you're really trying to create a huge gap and even heal yourself further. And then you can even cast something like step 5 behind you to immobilize them while you start kiting, and start doing even more immobilize if you need it, and line of sight when you can. Another trick that you can utilize, something like Intransicy Avatar, triggering the sigil of short bow, is to remove blind or to hit an enemy to save yourself while the enemy is stealthed, for example. A simple graph of equality around you, if you know a thief in melee, will daze him and cancel his skill. Even Intransicy Avatar would either daze him or will remove the blind on you, and you can simply cast this skill, so now they will eat the blind and try to hit you. You see them next to you and you start casting this. They can CC you because of stability. You can already switch to Turtle to start even healing and saving yourself, so there is few tricks that you can do even if the enemy is in stealth. Now last point I would like to discuss is the fight control. Something I like to tell when people ask me about is the one who chases, the one who will lose, or at least that's most likely. The idea of kiting enemies give you a huge advantage because they chase you, which means you get to control how the fight will evolve. You get to control where the next battle takes place. Let's say I want to line of sight, so it will be around this pole. So I can entangle them next to it, but they can't hit me with their arrows, for example. I control where it will start happening. I get to control when they will cast their skills because I immobilize them here. So now they have to cleanse if they want to still chase me. This level of control happens always to the person who's being chased, not the one who is chasing. So if the build has some serious advantage, like extra CC, high damage, stuff like that, if you simply keep chasing this enemy, you would have to waste more cooldowns just to catch up to them, if they have a mobility, especially or range advantage. So we'll give example in this in the commentary and what to do about it, but the simple idea is you don't simply chase and waste all your cooldown just trying to catch to them. You manage what you need, you manage this distance. If they waste too much cooldowns trying to run, then you can waste a little bit, but always pay attention to the distance. You don't get to melee to them unless you can CC them or immobilize them. If they are at distance and they have range advantage, then you always have something to protect yourself from projectiles the moment they turn back on you. Something like that. And now let's get to the commentary part and discuss some examples. So in this fight, it's an example on chasing an enemy when you shouldn't. Like I just said, the one who chases is the one who will lose. This is a very powerful scrubber, a good player, so he just free cast on us. So I'm trying to manage my distance, but I'm focusing on supporting the thief I'm running with. I'm worried that he would go down if he kept this chase, and that's exactly what happened. He did too much damage and I couldn't save him. And I will pay attention. I will not simply give him a free kill on me just trying to save my ally. I will try, but I will pay attention once I see I can't. Like he tried to use his rifle jump on me or whatever, so I stopped reviving. I dodged again, I healed, I dodge and create distance, I use projectile defense now trying to actually save him, but he used the finish thing and I couldn't. So I go to stability so I don't eat the CC, and I use another projectile defense. I catch him with an immobilize, answer immobilize, and a CC. I call my bit, but for some reason my bit just very slow. So I try to mobilize him again and catch him, and he simply disengage here. I was going to let him go, and then I told myself, no, maybe I should record this video, and I decided to follow him. So again, he's very careful in bowling me toward him. So I use projectile defense. He casts his elite, so I dodge that heavy damage. Like I said, move to staff, dodge immediately to save yourself. Stealth after immobilize him and try to control. Change my short bow next to him in order to use sigils. Trying to engage. Again, he killed my bit, and I immediately double cast the signet and as a glyph to catch him, switch bit, and immediately go to a CC combo with crazy damage, but he had his projectile defense again with access to stability, so no farther CC can land. So I again go with that, interrupt heavy hits, use the dodge to reduce the next incoming damage, and go with stability and landing some free cast on damage. So he started to disengage, accessing with some resistance, super speed, and repositioning himself, going back and forth. I dodge to heal, I use the projectile defense again, and keep my distance so I don't give him the free kill. I'm trying to play very carefully here. And I'm under stealth. He's a super speed, I can't catch to it. And I keep attention when he turned back to me, I try to save myself immediately. We both playing very well here. But we get engaged by an ally, a soul beast, so he was killed very fast after that. Simply we caught him, it was an unfair fight, and it was over in seconds. Now in this second fight, I engage a Dragon Hunter while and I have a bit of a ping, so they will see my slow actions here in a way. So I go aggressively a bit, I don't care what's gonna happen, and then I get surprised by a dead eye. I'm in the open, I have sharpened stone, and I already have many skills on cooldown. The Dragon Hunter disengaged by the dead eye stuck on me, so you will see an example here on what I say. You can defend yourself with control. If the enemy is under control, then it can't hurt you. And that's why I keep sticking him with my CC one after another. Days after ball, after something like that. And then I stick to my projectile defense, waiting for him to reappear. And he does. And then try to catch him with another CC. But I get this knockback. So I try to catch him again, he dodge, I catch him with an immobilize from stealth, but because of my ping I couldn't react to the animation of that CC of his, and he interrupted my healing and I was in a difficult position. But I caught him with a CC after another, again I'm not allowing him to do much, and luckily it was over. Now a big fight with an outnumber situation where we see I get surprised by a Mesmer in a way here. I didn't see him coming out of stealth and he trying to hit again, so I immediately did him when I see him next to me. And I use a trick when I stealth, when I'm trying to use lightning reflexes. I dodge backward with short bow. I'm very low on ways to survive now. I look backward. I use the blind from my Celestia avatar, hopefully, and immediately go into stealth to use stealth to my advantage. Heal and change my position. I use the terrain to my advantage here, and I will re-engage my enemy. So only the catalyst follow, and I try to lock him down. This is gonna be a bit of a back and forth here, but I will kite them again inside the camp. So I follow the catalyst down, going immediately with the daze to cancel him and immobilize him in place. The damage was too much for him to avoid. I get knocked back by the Mesmer. I try to re-engage using the daze around me and entangle everyone, putting some damage on him, and I get caught by a scrubber that I didn't saw where he was, so I spam dodge, as you can see, dodge, switch, staff, dodge again, and immediately go where they can't catch me, cleanse the condition, and try to immobilize behind. The druid catch me with immobilize, immediately switch to the bits to cleanse the immobilize, and I heal. He catch me again, so I see that the condition too much. I use my glyph also to cleanse again. I cast the immobilize behind me so they will get stuck. dodge behind, spam another dodge to lower the damage and get protection to heal, switch to staff, switch to the turtle for protection, and it will help me heal more and create more distance. So I controlled where I am, I controlled where the immobilize happen, and I kept the tempo of healing, cleansing, CCing time after time, and I was able to survive a position like that I kept getting surprised by enemies. I didn't see the first engagement of the Chronomancer, I didn't see the engagement of the Scrubber, and I yet was able to survive. Now this is another example, but on failure, not success. So I get caught by the Untamed, and I didn't notice him at first. This was a very long fight actually. But because it was a long fight and we for a start had the upper hand, I didn't notice how less we became. Like I already had only like 2 allies, and I thought they would still keep engaging back and forth, but they left me, and this is a problem anyone can fall off. It happened with me a lot that I lose my awareness to the field, not that effectively. However, that didn't matter much. I was able to still disengage for now. And I find another green guy in front of me, so I refrained from using the staff. I immediately went down when I get caught by that thief. I try to reposition on an area that gave me an advantage, catching them around me, and this is a very good Berserker. So I enter Cesti Avatar, blind him as you can see, so he missed the CC, and leave Cesti Avatar immediately. I tried to do this jump when you get on it without going down, so I lost health because I failed it. I should give up on it, it cost me a lot. And you can't cast Cesti Avatar skills this high, so I couldn't heal. And I failed the jump after that, so I could have healed for more than 5k, and I could have repositioned by I failed the jump, I failed the heal, and that was miserable, so I lost. Now we in here engage Stone Mist Castle with few guys. I opened it with them, and we get engaged by other players. So in a situation when there is so many guards and then players keep coming one after another, so you're not even predicting how the fight will play. It was empty at first, and then more and more kept coming. So I'm trying to always have something, like I have no stun break right now, so I count on the stability, and then I found myself almost gonna die. So I use more dodges than I should, and then heal with the staff, try to change position, enter Cesti Avatar again, heal, use the stability, and then disengage, heal again, hoping that my allies would be able to like control our position here and help me a little bit, but I found that my allies is starting to go down, and the enemies is going to gain more forces. So I almost going down here, but switch staff, dodge, trying to heal my allies again, and catch people with immobilized and guards, so I would lower this level of pressure that my allies have, dodge the CC, change my position, heal again, so I'm kinda now safe, but I get caught with another CC. I try to dodge out of the CC for the Chronomancer and successfully did by having 2 dodges back to back, but I get caught with another CC, and now I'm trying to disengage and it's very difficult. So I switch the staff. The moment the immobilize went away, I start immediately cutting staff, securing myself with immobilize and projectile defense, but immobilize so people would have to step in it, heal and cleanse again, but I get bold. So I immediately change my destination, and because I was in stealth, some of them didn't even see me doing that, so I immobilized them with Entangle when they bold me again and change my direction again. I faked that I'm going this way, and after stealth I went the other way immediately, gaining more distance and now projectile defense, and now I am free to leave. Now this is another example I want to say about the awareness. When you actually do some decent awareness in the fight, when I'm starting here with aggressive engagement, this player was outnumbered by us, but suddenly the fight became equal because he engaged the Reaper and let me to engage the Willbender. So I'm trying to catch the Willbender as fast as possible, doing as much defense, but I get engaged with other. Until this moment I was able to nullify the other player, but suddenly I become bursted immediately, so I switch it to kiting mode the moment that happened. And now I immobilize all of them and disengage after applying some of my own damage and create distance. So you switch from a very aggressive style to survival mode when you find the need to it, and you immediately do it and not get stuck inside. Now here, I'm longbow version trying to save this tower and I get bolt. So I immediately stun break, trigger the stability from the Cesti avatar, cleanse, go to dodge, staff, nullify the projectile, do the cripple and immobilize combo with the healing behind me and also a cleanse, and CC the enemy who's trying to catch me and create more distance, dodge again, and now I'm safe if I want to leave. But since I found an ally helpful that helped to quote him for me, so we immediately down the enemy player. This idea of securing yourself from having the enemy actually cast on you, so you're dodged, you're blind, now you have stability, will have the enemy incapable of actually catching you, and you stealth and create distance immediately. This is an example I wanted to show on a huge part of survivability is knowing what your enemy is capable of. So I dodge his elite elixir here, create distance with a projectile barrier, the boons are almost gone, so I just take my time with a simple dodge, catch him with an immobilize. He luckily was able to put all this damage on me, but I was wasting so many cleanses. I wanted to lock him with a CC. I immediately dodge before he can actually give me my condition back with a staff. I think that was a mark that he failed. And a note for Necro player, try to always give your condition or secure yourself unless you know you can land it to the bit, not to the ranger, because the ranger can dodge or create distance and you won't be able to land your hits. Or give the condition back and you will end up having them and waste your skill for nothing, basically. So that's it for the video. I hope you found it helpful. Ask any questions in the comments and I'll be reading them all. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll be seeing you next time. Peace.